Welcome into the WCS Coaches Show. I'm District Athletic Director Patrick Whitlock, and our game of the week this week is the Border Battle, Independence at Summit. And with me, I have the girls' coaches, Bree Jackson of Independence and Donald George of Summit. Coaches, welcome in.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So both coaches here you're respectively in year two. I know year two is when a lot of coaches feel like they're kind of able to make their transition or kind of start putting their stamp on the program. So I kind of want to ask you about that. What's different in year two than year one? Coach Jackson, we'll start with you.
Well, I know for us, a big transition difference, we've tiled a lot into our culture aspect. Last year, it was kind of more of getting to know each and every player, each and every coach, and just getting that bond. And I think this year, we've really focused in on who are we and what do we need. So the big difference from last year, this year will definitely be the culture.
No doubt. Coach George?
I think echoing on Coach Jackson's, it takes a little bit of time for the coaches and the players to really get to know each other and understanding the strengths and the things that you want to work on and continue to work on and sort of the personality of the players and what buttons you can kind of push a little bit more in that second year there. But it tends to start going a whole lot smoother in your second year. They understand what you're saying and just terminology and thoughts, and they start to read, hey, what you want before you actually have to say it in a lot of times. So really getting to know the players and everybody a whole lot better in that second year.
So you guys are in a new district this year. It's 12-4A. We're split up, unfortunately. That's the way it works out. And here we are in February, and you played your first district game this past Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're a little unfamiliar. Talk about your pre-district schedule and how things have kind of gone up until district play. Coach Jackson?
Our district schedule, in my opinion, has been figuratively tough in a lot of different ways. I wanted to get the girls in a different environment when it comes to playing different teams that have been state contenders last year, just getting them to understand the expectations throughout each and every game. You might have a different opponent, but the standard is going to be the exact same. So that's where.
And you should, I think, playing a different mix of teams as you go in. The tougher teams, the ones you match up well against. Try to play a little bit more difficult schedule, but difficult thing is our district's pretty difficult when you get to it. Our district and region, is difficult enough as it is. So, I mean, it's hard to recreate a lot of that. There's a lot of great teams, Indy, Page, Columbia Central on our end, and they're all tough games every night that you go out. So, just that preseason is really getting you prepared to play a lot of different styles and a lot of different things that you'll see when you face those good teams when you get into the district play.
So yeah, let's talk about the district for a second. So Tuesday night, you guys got Page. Obviously, Page is one of the better teams in the state. When it's very deep team, they were able to knock you off, and then you played Columbia Central home, mm-hmm. and you got the win there. So Page and Summit are 1-0. Indy and Columbia are 0-1. There's only 6 district games total, and it's kind of odd. And your seeding's going to be based in the region tournament on how you finish without a district tournament this year. So do you feel any added pressure, like with just having 6 district games? Particularly you had to start off a Page, it was a tough draw, but you obviously have this game circled because it's a rivalry game. Mm-hmm. But do you feel any added pressure, like you got to get this one on Friday?
Not really any added pressure. Our pressures come from within, just like any other team that we're going to play. Like you said, all the teams in the district, on whichever side, they're very competitive, very well coached, and our challenge is always going to be, what do we need to focus on and get better in each and every game? Like the rebounding, the turnovers, all those things. It's just each and every game is the exact same standard and goal, and that's the challenge.
Yeah, Coach George, it'd be pretty big to start 2-0 in district play. Mm-hmm. You got a tough task ahead of you tonight, but put any weight on that with your kids? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is always a great game. This is a rivalry game. You're going to have packed stadium, from the get-go there, and a lot of energy. And I think the teams that are able to control that and get there are going to do well. But every single game that we go into, I think, has the same added value as when you get there. But this one's a special game, and all the kids look forward to it. And, we're looking forward to that Friday night.
So, coaches, help us get familiar with your teams, maybe who have been some of your key contributors, some role players, some leaders you have. This is your opportunity to kind of run the gamut of all the players that you'd like to mention here. Coach Jackson?
On our side, we have a couple of key contributors that have played throughout the years. Riley Brooks, who's in her senior year, has really expanded her game from last year, this year being in year 2. We have Mighty Zeitz, who's a junior who's developing on that offensive side and obviously outstanding athlete. We have a couple of freshmen that are developing their confidence day in and day out with Ava Trudeau. We have Molly King, MJ Montgomery. So we have a lot of key pieces that are just putting the pieces together.
That Montgomery name is pretty popular.
Oh, yes, for sure,
sure. I remember that family
Yes,
very well
yes.
from my coaching days. Coach George?
Yeah, on the same lines, we've got a couple of seniors that have really been contributing a lot. Bridget Ali and Ava Kroll. Bridget's really developed as a player, and Ava as far as a shooter, developing their games. Trinity Garcia as the point guard has really had a solid year so far, and one I think's really kind of stepped out a lot more as a junior. Sam Malcolm, just works hard on every possession, whether it be practice and whether it be in the game. Is just a hard worker and a hard-nosed individual out there every day, very well coachable, and just works her tail off. So I'm glad to see her grow along with some of the other girls that step up into positions for a variety of reasons. We're kind of forced into spots that they may not have been in, but they've responded very well this year and been exciting to see them grow over the year.
So let's talk about the rivalry. Obviously, this is a big rivalry. Independence, a little bit older school. Summit built to relieve some overcrowding in an area that's really growing. There's going to be a little bit more energy in the building. I mean, obviously, all Williamson County games have pretty good atmosphere, but for this one, it's a little different. So, these kids grew up probably playing against each other, went to middle school together. Is this something like throughout the week you hear your kids talking about? I mean, your pregame speech probably doesn't have to be very motivational tonight, does it?
I would say throughout the year, this is the game that everybody talks about, especially with Summit. I mean, a lot of these kids are friends. A lot of these kids have played with each other. And not just the athletes, it's the school culture of, okay, we're coming in Indy Summit. So I think this is just, over the years, it's been that type of just rivalry that's fun. And I think that adds a lot of different variables when it comes to the competitiveness of the culture and of the environment. So definitely on our book, it's very fun.
No, I bet. From the Summit perspective?
Yeah, I don't think there's you don't need to remind anybody about when Summit and Indy play, and not only basketball, but any sport out there, whether it be football, baseball, basketball. These kids grew up together. They went to middle school together. They play on travel AAU teams together. They know everybody. And have seen everybody, and the students talk about it, the players talk about it, faculties talk about it, and it's a heated rivalry, it's a fun rivalry, but there's no reminding anybody that game's coming up whenever that's circled on the schedule.
No doubt. If you're going to win 2 games this year, these are 2 you want to win.
For
right?
sure, for sure.
No doubt. All right, so let's talk about this game a little bit. I know there's obviously probably a lot of gamesmanship that comes into this. You don't want to give away any key aspects of your game plan or anything. So I'm going to ask you to talk about the other team first. Maybe some things they do well, some things going into tonight that might worry you. So, Coach Jackson, we'll start with you.
Some of the things that, the other team does really well, I mean, they've developed a lot of outside range, a lot of outside attacking, that tough mentality, that tough culture, and all those type of things. But I think their biggest thing is chemistry. And I think when it comes to day in and day out with teams, that goes a long way. So that's one of the things that we've been focusing on, especially with our side as well, just to match that type of intensity, because the environment will be intense and it'll be fun, but we have to kind of stay humble and we have to stay kind of rooted. But I think on that side, they have a really tremendous growth of culture, and that's what I really respect.
Coach George, what worries you about Indy?
Well, we've always been a little undersized this year, and, they've got some good size with Maddie and Riley there, and those girls play very well together. They take care of the ball real good. And, they're very disciplined in what they do on their offense and their defense, crash the boards and are in the positions that they need to be in. And I know Coach Jackson's coached them up to be where they need to be. So they have a lot of energy as well, getting the ball up the floor, putting a lot of pressure on other teams. And their team just works real well together when they either it's on transition offense or being in a set offense. Just seem to be where they need to be every time. So we're looking forward to going up against that and seeing what happens tonight.
So we're kind of in a unique situation. We had a week of school last week that kind of got wiped out. You get 1 day of practice before you play a game on Friday. I know Summit had a makeup game Saturday against Ravenwood, and then Indy fit one in against Centennial this week. So it's been a lot going on. Has that changed how you approach this time of year at all? I mean, it's kind of odd to have the kids just away from the gym for 4 or 5 days. Have you made any adjustments to your practice plans or anything like that?
I'm just trying to get a little bit more up and down. I mean, sitting out a week, that's tough for anybody, any coach, any player. So I know our focus has been just to work all those type of kinks out. That's kind of been with our practice mentality and with the games this week of just getting up and down, pushing the pace, getting back into the groove of everything.
Coach?
Yeah, week off, you got to get your legs back under you. I mean, it's tough with, not being able to get out, even the girls being able to do some of the stuff on their own. It was difficult for them. Those first couple of days of practice, a lot of focus was, hey, let's get our legs back under us. Let's review everything that we're doing. They watched a lot of film during that time, but that doesn't recreate that conditioning and the quickness and the attention to detail that you need. But even though the game against Ravenwood's a little odd time on a Saturday, it was great to be able to get in and get that game made up, to be able to just sort of get back in the flow. And I think once we were able to do that, it just sort of flowed right back into what we were doing and get a little more consistency, because different gym times, different game times. But I think we're getting back to where we need to be now.
Yeah, those Saturday afternoon games.
Saturday 2:00 game.
The matinee right there.
middle.
And it's 7 degrees in Brentwood, it seems like. So it was an interesting time.
No doubt. So, all right, keys to the game tonight. One thing your team absolutely must do well to win. Coach?
Value the ball, valuing the ball, valuing the ball. We like to say things in threes, so it sticks a little bit. But then also on both ends of the floor, just value rebounding as well. Go get the ball. So those are our two things that we've been, not just this week, the entire year, that it's kind of been our low moments. So we've been really tying into those two things.
Yeah, the analytical game of possessions.
For sure.
No doubt. Coach?
We talk about, make every possession count. There's no wasted possessions on the offensive or defensive end. You can't waste a possession. You can't take one for granted. You have to have that focus. We talked about, before, it's 32 minutes. It doesn't matter what the score is after 1, 2, 3 quarters, but it's got to be 32 minutes of focus. Value every single possession, no matter what phase of the game that you're out, from tip-off to when the time runs out at the end of the game. But just value each possession.
No doubt. So, well, coaches, we appreciate you guys coming in today. Best of luck. I know game days are always a little bit hectic. A lot of basketball left to be played here, and I think it's going to be a really interesting district race, especially between these two teams right here. So, you guys are hoping to get a jump start on a little bit of a lead tonight, I'm sure.
For sure.
All right, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, we will be back with segment 2 with our boys coaches here in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Now I have with me the boys coaches, Mark Wilkins of Independence and Thad Burgess from Summit. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yep. So, obviously, we have a big game tonight. First place in this early district schedule, even though it's not a very long district schedule, will be on the line. But, since your first time in here this year, I want to talk about how things have gone up until this point. So let's talk a little bit about your pre-district schedule. Coach Wilkins, we'll start with you. You guys played a pretty tough schedule, played in the Battle for Nashville, which is a very prestigious tournament. And then also, you kind of took the angle of you've tried to schedule just about everybody in the district or the county twice.
Right.
So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's been something we've tried to do since we've been here. That's my 5th year here now, just trying to go play the best we can. We don't always have the best record this time of the year. It seems like we've had a lot of, but I think that hopefully it'll pay off for us again down the road. I mean, we're thankful to get in the Battle for Nashville tournament. I think it's probably the best in Tennessee, pushing Arby's as well out there in East Tennessee for the Southeast region. So it was a tournament we lost 2 games in, but I feel like we learned a lot. Even go back and kind of see that's a different team that we were a different team then than we are now. And then, fast forwarding to, playing people in our district, thankfully our region, we don't have to go very far to play a lot of really good teams. And so able to play everybody in our region twice, which I think has helped us. And I think just kind of the intensity of those games help us mirror what a playoff game looks like, what a game against Summit is going to look like. Just everything, every possession really matters. And then also stepping out and playing Upperman, the defending 3A state champs. So just we've been able to play in a lot of really big games, and I hope that it continues to play off for us, because there's nothing like a Indy Summit game that just kind of takes up another level. But hopefully we're prepared.
No doubt. Coach Burgess, you are a seasoned veteran, even though you look younger than me.
I'm old. Just go
Oh,
ahead
man.
and say it. You can say it.
Hit a coaching milestone this year, correct? 500 wins.
Yes, that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was kind of
that's
neat.
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You've coached in different states, and you seem to sprinkle your schedule with lots of teams from different states. So talk about your preseason schedule.
I still got some buddies around coaches in different spots. So one of them's in Georgia, and we've been going to Georgia forever. I helped him get it started, and so we try to do that during Thanksgiving. Gives me a chance to see him a little bit, but also gives us we do like a 2-day thing. Our parents go get away, and Thanksgiving's a little different. In Christmas, you got really just 1 week. So you can take a couple of days and we can all kind of get away. We've got the preseason going. You've practiced. You got ready to go. You may have football guys coming. And then you get that Thanksgiving break and go on Monday and Tuesday. Then we take off the rest of the time. So, and then you get back, you start jumping in all these different, get back into the ream of things. But it's just been real neat. And I feel like, wow, it just, like yesterday, we were sitting here for the first time trying to learn everything. And of course, our rival has to be the best program probably the last few years in the state. And so we're just still, we're still climbing that ladder. Tonight will be a great challenge for us. We're excited about it, but we know, hope we've prepped ourselves to do that. We do have some confidence. Our program has got to a level that we expect to win now. Every night we go to, and so we got some confidence probably early with some of our scheduling, some teams we felt like that we probably could compete against, and I think our confidence level has been one thing that we've tried to do here the last couple of years is try to get some momentum going. So of course in our district and region, you can be good one night and then look like the end's coming to us. I know, Coach, we text and different coaches and. You feel like the world's come to an end, and they'll win 4 or 5 games in a row. So we'll see what goes on. But at this point, we're at the end, and we feel good. But we also know it's going to be a major challenge ahead.
Yeah, I can totally relate. So. All right, let's talk about personnel a little bit, Coach Wilkins. We'll start with you.
Yeah.
Harris Hall, kind of your senior leader, stepping into. You got a lot of guys stepping into really new roles.
we
this year.
do.
Lost a lot
Yep.
from last year. So talk about him, and then. I'll be honest, Kobe Jackson, probably one of my favorite players in the district, just does a little bit of everything.
Yep.
He can come out and get, almost double-digit assists, or he'll step up and, like that Upperman game, score 29 points. So talk about those guys.
Yeah, Harris coming back from last year's team was the only returner we had from last year. Kind of a different role, just kind of in the shadows of Tylen and Dawson Miller, Nick Degnan, some of those great players we had. There was Harris just kind of would put that big putback in we needed, just played a smaller role. This year, he doesn't have that luxury. We've had him to handle the ball, to post up, to guard the other team's best player every night, and he's really stepping up and doing that. He has a level of toughness that is extremely admirable for us. We just love guys that just show a lot of toughness night in, night out, and that's Harris. He gets beat up a lot, but he keeps coming back, and just a huge program guy. So super excited about the senior year he's having and the confidence he does bring to our team, kind of that silent confidence that he has. But we all kind of feed off that. And then super proud of Kobe. He's been a guy that could have been played maybe somewhere else his sophomore year. Just happened to be behind a couple other good guards we had in our program. But just he loves Indy, loves being at our school. And to see him have the junior year that he's having just makes us extremely proud. And I think, like I said, even the Upperman game, he had 29, and we kind of started finding different matchups there at the end. He probably could have had 35, 36 points, but he's done a good job here recently of taking what the defense gives you. Willing to score, can score, but you referenced that he had a game right at the end of Christmas where he had 13 assists. The battle for Nashville. So we're super proud of him just taking what the defense gives us. He's played a lot of basketball, and so there's not a lot of coaching that we have to do. He's a very, very smart player. So those two kind of lead the charge for us. We're going to need him tonight. Someone does a lot of really good things defensively, so they're going to have to continue to make good decisions with us with the ball. But I'm super proud of those guys for sure.
Who are a few other guys like around them that are kind of, obviously all stepping into new roles?
Right. Matthew Horner, Tuesday night had a big game for us. Had 16 points, 10 rebounds, even guarded their Page's best player, who's a tough guy to guard. So he's been really stepping up. Obviously a multi-sport athlete, so super proud of him for being able to manage being the quarterback and then also being the center on our basketball team. Locke Reese, a sophomore, his older brother Owen Reese played my first year here, really stepping up and having some big games here. He had 18 points against Page on Tuesday as well. Then we have George Mawberry, plays football, great kid. And I know I'm going to Emerson Lanier, another one of our seniors that just has kind of been a guy that's around the program, and so super excited that he's getting a lot more minutes this year. He's stepping up for us, so it's a by committee thing for us this year more than it ever has been the 5 years I've been here. We're just kind of seeing who has the hot hand each night.
So, Coach Burgess, you got some big kids over there. It starts with Joel Covertson, the junior,
right.
and then Ford DeShazo, the senior. Talk about them.
Well, we were kind of in the same boat. Joel was the only person that we had that averaged over 1 point. We had no points coming back besides Joel, and so that's kind of what we did in the offseason, heading that direction, knowing he'd be our leader. But we've got to a point that those guys. I've got actually 5 seniors now that actually 4 of them played on the JV last year just to try to stay with the program. But those have been like the cornerstones of what we've done. I think I'm probably most proud of what they have brought to the program, a sense of caring, willing to sacrifice, not playing much. Now they still have roles, but they're not major roles, but they're very important roles for us. Ford joins us, I was telling Coach in really October, and he just gave us
a good pickup.
He was a great kid. I was telling Coach in the room, it's like one of those early Christmas presents that we had no clue. And he's very similar to Joel. Him and Joel play very similar roles. They both are strong, physical, shoot the ball well. But we've gone like everybody else. We've gone. I don't know if we've had the same starting lineup. Gosh, it's been at least a month probably. We're kind of going through the same thing. People with illnesses and aches and pains, and trying to find that combination. We got some sophomores that we're throwing in the mix. So you think right now, filling out your scorebook right now. I'm waiting until the night of the game to decide, who's going to be available, what we want to try. So
I can help you decide.
I know it. We kind of don't know what we're going to do until game time, but we're excited. I mean, it's really neat to see how the kids have accepted their roles, and all 10 or 11 or whatever we dress each night. I know on the bench, it's just neat. It's just fun, and so they've got bought into what we're trying to do, and it does help having 2 cornerstones there with Joel and Ford. But we definitely got some role players that have gone in there and helped us as well.
So we're into district play finally. It's kind of a little weird that it took till February to get here. I didn't really hit me till earlier this week. I was like, man, they haven't played a district game yet. But here we are.
Crazy.
And Indy gets the 1-point win over Page, a very underrated Page team, in my opinion.
Yes.
And Summit beats Columbia 61-45. So you're both 1-0 in district play, but you've only got 5 district games left. I know it's a rivalry game, so it's huge, but a little added pressure for this game because the winner tonight gets kind of the inside track at winning the district.
Go ahead, Coach.
Well, the thing with us, it's been so long since we beat these guys, and so I feel like
I can relate to that as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying the same thing, but it's a situation where you feel like that's one step that you got to make somewhere along the way. But coaches, teams, this is everybody knows this. They've won as much as anybody the last few years, and they play at a different level. They're very confident their roles. He mentioned this. He was just telling you, they guard, they take care of the ball. They've won, and I think that means a lot when you used to winning. They expect to win, and so we're trying to get to that point. So we'll have a great crowd. They'll bring their folks tonight, and it's just one of those things. You're hoping in our situation at Summit, at some point, we hope we can have that chance. Maybe we have a chance to pull off that big win, and we did that a couple of weeks against Franklin, which was a major win on a Friday night for us. But it's just fun to be in the mix. Where we were a couple of years ago, where we are now, our kids are expecting every night to think they've got a chance to win. So that's what I hope to happen. Tonight, I hope we have a chance. Maybe late to have a chance, maybe at a shot, but we'll see. We know it's going to be tough. They're playing really good. They're probably playing better than anybody in the region right now, district.
Coach Burgess is the king of, I just
Yeah,
hope we can
right.
hang in. When they, as we all know, a few years ago, before we got to that state championship game, it was Summit who nearly knocked us off. We
Almost ended that run
absolutely
really early.
and we talk about that constantly. So he does a great job preparing his team, and he does that act with me. But I know they're going in with confidence and ready to take us, and make this as a competitive game as it always is with these 2 teams. And so, I think it is, back to your question, it's a huge game because it's a district game, but we could play this game
It wouldn't
in
matter.
August.
Yeah,
We could play it in
right,
June
yeah.
at a team camp, and it would be, everybody's there excited, and that's what it should be about. Although I think for us it's nerve-wracking and stressful, but the communities come out for this one even more. I know the Battle of the Woods, the same deal. It's just a bigger deal, and so it's always great to have that added pressure, which I assume we'll always have as a district game, being so close to one another. But no matter what, it's just going to mean a whole lot to have this type of atmosphere. I never played in this atmosphere as a
It's
player.
crazy. It really
never
is
coached
big.
in it, honestly, before coming here, and then you step into this role, and they kind of tell you, here's what the Indy Summit games are like, but until you experience it, it's unlike anything I've been a part of. So it's going to be fun. It always is a great game, especially on a Friday night.
All right, so now you get to, I'll let you talk about the other team. I mean, you kind of have already, but what is one thing that really worries you about your opponent tonight and maybe a key to winning this game? Coach Burgess, we'll start with you.
I 100% it would be that Independence knows how to win. They expect to win. They do all the little things well. They defend. They don't turn the ball over. They do all the stuff that allows you to win. And they've just not just won; they've won the big stage, and so it's a different level. Our kids, of course, they know each other. They live. Some of them live right across. Some of them live next door to each other.
In the same neighborhood.
Yeah. So we know that that's the case, but you just know that you're going to have to play. You're going to have to play all 4 quarters. You may get up 6 or 7, or maybe down 6 or 7. We're talking about games early in the week that you felt like, hey, we're okay. The next thing you know, it's a ball game. So I just hope it's a game that we know both teams are going to play. I know they're going to play hard,
Yes.
and you just hope your emotions and all that will stay intact. But I know our students come out. Y'all see people I haven't seen a lot, and a lot of people in the community.
You're like, we play on
so-
Tuesdays too.
yeah. So
That's right.
So it'll be fun. But what an opportunity to have your rival to be. It's good and bad. It's exciting knowing who we're playing. But again, on the other end, the success that they've had is just incredible what they've done. So let's just see what happens. I hope we're in the game.
I would, echo some of the things that Coach talked about. I think number one, they are a tough guard because they have 2 power forwards, but they both could shoot. They're very similar, average about 16.5 each. So they're physical. They can post you up. They can also shoot. And that's a tough combination in high school to kind of know how to guard that and defend that. And Coach does a great job of putting them in some situations where if you mess up, they're going to make you pay. And so that's obviously concerning, is just how we match up and how we're going to guard the different actions that they run. And then as a proponent of zone defense, as I've been in years past, Coach runs a great zone that gives people issues. And, you kind of want to find that fine line of allowing your kids to make plays, but also you got to be able to run some stuff. If you run too much, they overthink it and you're out of rhythm. And so Coach does a really good job of mixing that up. And I think to their advantage, they believe in it, and they take great charges on the back end if you make a mistake. And so it's going to be a challenge for us over there. And it's going to be, just like every one of these games, I expect it to be close. It's going to be, like Coach said, both teams are going to play very hard. We're not going to have to tell them to come on, let's get motivated. They're going to have to probably say, slow down, breathe. And so us both having brand new teams that really haven't played in this game. We have 1 or 2 players that played in this game last year. Other than that, it's going to be a lot of puppies out there that are going to be excited to play for the first time. So it's going to be a fun atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, how do the guys play when the lights come on, right?
Right,
A little bit different stakes tonight when
That's
you
right.
step out there. So, well, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming in. We won't find 2 finer coaches in this district. I feel like I say that every week, but we're blessed to have a lot of coaching talent
really are lucky.
in this county, and you guys are certainly there near the top. So best of luck to you tonight, and as you guys move forward.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having us.
Coach.
All right. Make sure you get there early tonight. You got the border battle. Independence at Summit. Girls tip at 6 o'clock. Boys at 7:30. If you're late, you're not going to get a seat. And we will see you next week.